Devane reporting. New tonight at 5, Charlotte's Democratic mayor explaining why she is leading the charge to bring the Republican National Convention here to the Queen City. Mayor Vi Lyles faced with the prospect of some Democratic members of the city council voting against the convention. The council set to hold a vote Monday night. NBC Charlotte's Rad Berkey back live on this story for us tonight. Rad, what will the council be voting on Monday?
Fred, these are going to be some preliminary agreements with the GOP to bring the convention here to Charlotte. But it's also going to be an early indication if the opposition that we've heard about is going to be enough in the end to reject the convention outright. I talked to a political scientist today who said, you know, I've never seen anything like this.
If we reject this, I don't know what happens. There's no plan B.
Eric Heberlig is a political science professor at UNC Charlotte. He says Charlotte is clearly the leading candidate to be awarded their national convention when the Republican Party holds its summer meeting next week in Texas. But now Charlotte's bid is being questioned by some Democratic City Council members. Lawana Mayfield and Justin Harlow say they will both vote against accepting the convention.
Now you have members of City Council raising questions that if they didn't want it, should have been raised 6 months ago before we submitted the bid.
Explaining her support for bringing President Trump and the GOP here, Mayor Vi Lyles said in a statement, "The current political climate, with all its divisive rhetoric and harmful policies, does not represent my values or the values of most Charlotteans. But if Charlotte is the site for the RNC, we can show that our city is about inclusion and leverage. It is an opportunity to demonstrate our values of respect while honoring our differences." Professor Heberlig says the council could vote to reject any contracts with the GOP, but Laura Hill White from the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority said, as with previous major events, there have been agreements outlining city-related infrastructure or service support that council weighs in on, but that is not yet set. So again, the council vote is coming on Monday. We could know as early as Tuesday if Charlotte is picked by the GOP. Live in Charlotte, Rad Berkey, NBC Charlotte.
Okay, Rad, thank you.